Nick, what are we gonna drink, Nick?
You want to crack open the Midwinter?
Let's do it. I'm gonna give you some proper American whiskey.
Fantastic.
Paul will be on the floor. You what?
I ain't got to drive either,
Just
so
a tiny bit. So, so the London accent is not necessarily the English accent, because when I was at the show in London, like, I understand you perfectly, I understand Paul perfectly, but then I had a couple of, what do you call
As
them,
you start going north.
lads
lads.
that came up to me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not English. He's like, well, yes, it is. I'm like, no.
That was the
I need
as they're
subtitles.
going north, Roman. It's
Yeah.
north. It's like more Birmingham, Manchester,
Gotcha.
Scottish. What about Scottish? How do
Oh.
you get on with?
Good
So
night
forget
again.
it.
Roman,
that's
to
all I
be
have
honest
say.
with you, we can't understand them either, so don't worry about
Okay,
it.
so I'm not the only one here. Okay, no, but Ireland, the same thing. When I went to visit Nico, so well, Nico's not really Irish, although because he speaks English in Ireland, he developed the Irish accent.
Yeah.
But he's actually
But
Dutch.
he's got sort of his own accent.
Exactly,
His
it's a
own-
mix of Dutch and Irish.
Yeah.
And a couple of the people in his office, I understood perfectly. Timmy, it was fucking
Some-
it
the
was
strong-
Peaky Blinders on steroids. I couldn't understand a fucking thing. Thank you. So this is actually a bit of a unicorn. This is a distillery from Utah. Majority of your bourbon people are going to be in Kentucky, right? But these guys are from Utah. They're sort of a newcomer to the market. A midwinter night dram. It's a play on words, obviously, because they call it the name. And this is Act 9, Scene 1. It's about a $40 bottle retail. Just to give you an idea how collectible they become, Act 1 today is on the market for about $8,000. Act 2 about $4,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
It's impossible to get them. They sell out quickly. On a secondary market, a $40 bottle today is about $300 to $400. Just this one alone. Go back 2 acts, it goes into the thousands. So give this a shot. This is really good juice. And again, this is as American as it gets. So welcome to America, boys.
Thank you.
I know Paul's a lightweight. We'll give him a little bit.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys. Welcome. Glad to have you guys here.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Wow.
Welcome to
That is
Whiskeys and
magnificent.
Whiskies, Paul Thorpe and Spencer Live.
Ooh, that's all my old cockles, that is. Right, Spencer,
What the hell did you just say? Somebody translate?
Okay,
Go on, tell him about your cockles. That's your
Okay,
Yeah, I don't even
it's
wanna
an
know.
old saying, it's warm the cockles of my heart, right? So warm the cockles of my heart. It's warm,
I thought it was completely something else.
warm my cockles, warm my spirit. Don't
Oh,
worry,
that's
I'm not going all
beautiful.
weird on
Yeah,
you.
that's beautiful.
It's lovely, isn't it?
This is really. I'm a big bourbon guy, big whiskey guy. I told you when we were in London, when we were sitting at the restaurant at the Grosvenor House.
Yeah.
I literally FaceTimed a buddy of mine who was a big time whiskey collector as well and drinker.
Sure.
And I showed him the collection of the American bourbons they had there. They had unicorns. They have shit that I can't even remotely get
There's
for
a
any
few
amount of money.
whiskey clubs. Next time you come over, we'll go. Aren't they around St James's whiskey clubs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I like whiskey, I like scotch, and I do like bourbons. But I was so taken back at the Grosvenor House when I saw it. I mean, they literally had unicorns, what we call unicorns. It's something that it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can't find the bottle. It was insane. I ordered a couple of shots, and then Nika's like, "Fuck me, mate. How much was this? 127 quid." I'm like, "You don't understand what this is." He's like, "I don't, because to me, I would have drank the $20 shots, but I just had to order some stuff because it's some stuff in there was like a once in a lifetime opportunity to try. It was just pretty cool." So let's talk watches.
Well, I've got a question that's come in from one of my viewers. I don't know if you can see him, Roman, but I can't from here. But he's asked me to ask you, what do you think of the new APs?
I put on my Instagram yesterday. Actually, Adrian posted on his Instagram. Oh, can you see the question?
Oh, yeah,
there you go. Adrian actually put a post on his Instagram that said, "Yes, we know about the new releases. Yes, we like them, and no, we can't get them yet."
What's that? The Blue Dial chronograph?
So the
Green?
Blue Dial Chrono is going to be a humongous hit. I sort of like the what is that? They made that. It's not a sunburst. So what was the Rolexes that had the dial that sort of faded away?
Sunburst.
It wasn't really a sunburst. The vintage Rolexes that had the dial. What they call them, where they were darker on the outside and not so dark on the
Yeah,
inside.
you know, like the vignette.
Vignette, that's it.
Vignette,
So
yeah, on the
I
blue or
absolutely
the
love
red,
it.
yeah.
I mean, the skeleton is, I had a couple of clients call me already, said, "Listen, I'm in line to get the perpetual ceramic skeleton, which today trades for an insane amount of money on the market." And he said, "But I probably have an opportunity to switch to that one." I told him, absolutely switch to that one. I think that they've done an outstanding job. What I absolutely love is the fact that it didn't get away from the original design, right? Because at the end of the day, this is the 50th anniversary of the Royal Oak, right? 1972, it's been 50 years, probably won't see until 2023. Usually they announce an anniversary piece when it comes out a year later. much like with the offshore, if you remember. So the offshore was done for the 20th anniversary in '92, but we didn't see the first one till '93.
Often they're delayed, aren't they? 6-9 months.
Yeah. So I think, listen, they did an outstanding job, but they didn't surprise me with anything. They did more of
They're
the
quite
same.
conservative. They're not. Yeah.
They changed some dials around. I mean, the skeleton obviously bunkers. Some of the dials on there are absolutely insane. But bottom line is that they stay with the originals. They kept it original. They didn't change anything up. They left the original case alone, which I absolutely love. Because sometimes companies tend to get too creative, especially considering that AP is one of the top 3 hottest brands right
we
now.
have a saying: if it's not broken,
Don't fix it.
Don't
Exactly.
fix it.
Exactly. That's why Rolex
Yeah.
is. People always usually Rolex come out like, oh, it's the same shit, different dials. Like, well, what do you expect them to do? It's been
They
working
haven't
for so
changed
many
in 70
years.
years, they haven't
Exactly.
changed.
What are
I
they
mean,
gonna
look at
do?
our early submariners. They're much the same.
Yeah,
You know, they
exactly.
really are.
From afar, you can't tell.
I'm loving the new factory set, the diamond factory set model that I saw. That one really took my eye.
This factory set, I absolutely love. You actually, Carl, can you show that to
Yeah,
the live
the
camera?
guys are saying, can we have the close-ups on the watches?
This is an absolute, for me, this rainbow dial, Pave. I'm a diamond guy. I'm a big diamond. I like diamond watches, and I think they knocked it out of the park with that one. And
And
guess
up here.
what? It is also something that can be worn both by women and men. You know, that 36 millimeter size is absolutely insane, and the
Roman,
white gold is what did it for me.
Can I ask you? I mean, we get this question a lot. People saying, "What's the popularity? Why has it happened? Why can't you get watches?" And in the UK, we talk about this a lot. And Paul and I have spoken again. I say because you've got more people, you've got younger people, you've got more nationality. It's more. I mean, years ago, like a Day-Day, a 18038, it was worn by a 50, 60-year-old man, wasn't it?
It was the
Yeah.
ultimate retirement watch here in the
Correct,
US.
that was what you had. And now you've got like women wearing it, kids wearing it, and the same, a Submariner. Some people were successful, they had a Submariner.
Can
their
I
whole
quote, can I
life.
quote a friend? Can I quote a
Go
friend? A friend of mine in London once said, if you're in London, you can throw a rock and you'll hit a submariner. I'm not gonna point any elbows or anything, but that's the first time that,
Yeah.
you know, that it so made sense to me, like, and he's right. You know, today, the submariner is a throw
Yeah.
away, a rock throw away. It's crazy. Look, we're in a different time. We're in a time of flex culture, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
We also
Yeah.
have a lot of new money coming in, right? From the crypto
And
world.
younger desirability.
Younger, you also have a generation of now kids that are no longer kids who are spending their parents' money as well. I mean, let's face it, I have a lot of clients, I call them trust fund babies, right? You know, where they're born into heavy duty money. And, you know, you have some cocky ones, which I can't really stand when they try to make themselves to be something else.
Sure.
And, you know, I'm like, look, you're just a trust fund baby. I get it, your father is rich.
Or the
You're
other
not
line
gonna
we
afford it.
use in the UK, IDBs.
What
Come
do-
on, see it, Paul. By the way, guys, Paul has been on about abbreviations. And what was the one we had?
What is
the other
IDB?
day?
Somebody
Hang
put
on,
me in
we'll
there.
come on to that.
We was talking to a taxi driver and he mentioned he's a former serviceman and he mentioned IEDs and Spencer said, what the hell's an IED?
Oh, you mean, oh, like the bombs? You
Yeah,
said?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so he knew that. Okay, I didn't know
Oh, I
that.
know what an ID is.
Okay.
Well, I'm a military guy too.
So now I brought up IDB, yeah?
Go on.
Gavin will know this.
What's it?
Go on, Gav.
Into daddy's business.
In Daddy's
In Daddy's business. But
Okay,
what I-
so that's like your trust
What I
fund.
do admire though is that I have also some clients whose fathers are multimillionaires or billionaires,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're straightforward about it. They said, "Look, I'm lucky. I got
Yeah.
born into money. I've never seen the side of a commercial plane. You know, I've never eaten at McDonald's. And guess what? It is what it is. But they still want to spend that money, and they're okay, and they're fine with it. And then you have the young kids that, you know, bought a fucking monkey on the internet that cost them $2, and today that monkey is $600,000. Again, I'm exaggerating. And all of a sudden, they have all this access. I talked about this on the panel at the crypto convention, where I said that we have a wave of new money just from that, if you can call it industry alone, right? Where they're not. My whole thing is they're not confident enough in what they do, and so whenever they make a little bit of a jump within that crypto world or NFT world, they pull that money out, and what do? They put it into something tangible, right? A big watch, a big car, or what have you. And even physical art. There's guys selling digital NFTs that they made a lot of money on, and they go out and buy an original Picasso because they feel the money's safer there, which I would agree with. But
So
But
did you find it an eye-opener at this crypto show? Was it just...
it was a different world. You know, I felt older than I even am. Like, I honestly, I talked to some of these kids and some of these adults even, and I felt like I was in Ireland all over again because I couldn't understand half the what they were saying. And some of them are in La La Land. One guy came up to the booth and goes to Asia, and he's like, So behind NFTs, there's utilities. Certain NFTs, the utility will give you access to, let's say, a video game or a certain club. It's called a utility. It does something, right?
Sure.
Which I still don't fully understand. And one guy came up and said, "Well, what's the utility on these?" And Adrian looks at him and is like, "Fucking tells time." You know what I mean? There's your utility. You know what I mean? Like, one guy came up. I had the Hublot LaFerrari, and it looks very
Yeah, I thought
futuristic.
that's-
It looks like a computer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one guy comes up, I'm like, this mine's Ethereum, right? He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, this thing will mine 1 Ethereum per month. He starts looking at it, it's like, well, where's the computer? You know, I'm like, I'm fucking with you, right? I'm like, and the guy believed me. It was pretty funny. But you know what I always say? I've said it multiple times. Every meeting, every interaction, every place you may ever be, there's always an opportunity. At least in my industry, or in any business for that matter. So I got to speak with guys that spoke, girls that spoke a different language, but I also got to learn. I got to learn a bit more about the space. I learned to see how these people think, and they think in a completely different realm. Like my son, who's 18, I talked to him about this stuff. He's my crypto broker, I like to call him, because I told him for advice. They talk a different language. But as you said, you come from a very old school of watch dealing, and some of the stuff and the technology that you've implemented in your office that you showed me, you understand that you need to keep up with times. And for us, older guys, it's a question of hiring the right talent or interacting with the right people.
But now there is some knowledge, the 20 to 35-year-olds, the crypto, the NFT, the blockchain, some of these ideas. We got to be in with that because
You don't
gotta
keep up with the
I was
times.
speaking with
Yeah.
your son the other day. His knowledge for an 18-year-old was unbelievable.
But
And
did you
I
think he
had
was
to
talking a
listen.
different language, right?
He
at
was
some
talking a
point?
different
Yeah.
language, but I felt I need someone like that, and I have some younger people in my business because otherwise, like you said, we both take crypto now and in different ways. We have to, otherwise.
The times,
You got to
listen,
keep up with it.
that's why when you walked on a sales floor, you saw a 22-year-old girl, 22-year-old guy working on a sales floor, because even from a sales perspective, they have a different outlook on things, and I sometimes listen in, and sometimes I even cringe when they're making sales, because in my mind, I'm more old school, and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? But then I'm realizing
We've got to
20 years ago, I was saying the same shit to my parents.
But Roman, when we were younger, a 20-year-old would listen to a 40, 50-year-old, and you just look and you'd listen and you keep your mouth shut. Now we actually have to take notice of